Hello and welcome back to the Brick Den. I'm so happy to be finally back after my long absence. Unfortunately, I was very busy doing my GCSEs for school, but now I do have the longest summer I've ever had and I'm very excited to be making videos again. Something I have been able to do over my absence is finish Kamino. So in this update you will get to see Kamino finally finished. So without further ado, it's time to travel back in time to the end of update 3 and carry on building in order to finish Kamino. So first off, I began working on the rounded corner, which was of course challenging, but that's really expected when anything is rounded in Lego. I'd have liked to make the overall MOC more rounded, but it really would have just been, I think, too challenging from a structural point of view. However, I am happy with how this curve turned out, and then I moved on to working on the wall on the left hand side, which is also going to have a curved shape as seen in some of the source material, and I achieved this using ratchet joints and then wedge plates and bricks to conceal any gaps. Now next I moved on to the pillars and the sections creating the pillars. Now something to note with this section is they, of course, as the whole MOC is, at a much smaller scale than what we see in the source material. However, it was still important for me to capture the shaping, but of course using a little bit of artistic license. Now another challenging part of this section was incorporating the wires for the lights. Now, as always with most of my MOCs, I am using the Light My Bricks LEDs, which although don't put out a lot of light are quite good for small details. Then I moved on to working on to the curved wall on the right hand side of the MOC. Now this is also curved but not in two directions, so it was a little bit simpler, and I just built that with the hinged bricks quite simply. And then I also moved on to putting on the roof panels, which were built in a very similar way to the inverted curved panels on the underside. Then I moved on to the interior of the MOC and working on the 3 inverted slopes which can have lights built into them, and then also I've decided to have a raised platform above that. So as you can see, quite a lot of substantial progress was made so far in the MOC. I'm really happy with how the hangar is turning out overall. I quite like all the shaping that I've been able to include. Something I was uncertain of whether to include was the cranes, but I am quite happy with how they've turned out and the articulation that I've been able to include, and they are quite accurate to the ones seen in some of the source material which I've been using to base this MOC off. Now the problem I'm facing now is I'm running quite low on quite a lot of the parts that I need to finish the MOC, so I'm going to have to be extremely efficient with the part usage from now on to be careful I don't run out of anything and don't have to order any more. But without further ado, it's time to get back to building and making some more progress. At this point, all that was really left was just minor details and neating up some of the areas of the MOC. So one thing that I was doing was adding handrails using bars and clip pieces. I also wanted to add some smaller platforms to the MOC, as we often see on Kamino, so I decided to add some on the left hand side. And then also I was just doing the interior of the armour, which I built a few updates ago, and then adding some crates. But I also decided to tile the curved wall on the left hand side, as I thought it gave a bit more of a cleaner finish than what was underneath. So here it is, Kamino is finished at last, and I'm quite happy with how it's turned out, and of course the MOC has changed quite a lot over the course of building it from what I originally was planning on doing, but I am happy with how it's turned out. And you can see I've got the figures positioned on the front here and on the inside too. Now I would say that I prefer the inside of the MOC to the outside angle, purely because there's a little bit more going off on the inside which adds a little bit more interest. Now in the last video a lot of you said to leave the gunship out of the MOC, but I've decided for the MOC showcase I'm going to have 2 different setups. One with the gunship in, which is sort of the battle scenario which you're seeing at the moment, and then one without the gunship in, which will not be a battle scenario. Now speaking of the MOC showcase, it's probably going to come out in 2 weeks. Now after that video I'm going to have another MOC showcase going into detail on the gunship and this new AT-AT which I've built. I did do a MOC showcase on a custom AT-AT I built a while ago, but I've built this new one which is closer to minifig scale so I could use it in the MOC. And then after that video I'm going to have another MOC showcase, but that will be on a MOC which you have not seen yet. So definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, I do hope you did enjoy this video, and if you did, don't forget to leave a like and a comment telling me what you think of the MOC and any ideas you may have, because I can of course make minor changes between now and the MOC showcase. But most of all, thank you so much for watching this video.